William Keat, again continuing this series of videos that we are just going through the key essentials of the Constitution, and we're following through this document, the Occulted Powers of the British Constitution, using that as the basis. And this is part 4, and this section is again about the meaning of the word democracy, so just continuing from where we were. So here we are. This is the title, Democracy, a Return to its Proper Meaning, because we know that it's been distorted. So here we go. Once one understands that the real mechanism by which the people have authority and control over their government is not by voting in elections, but through the lost and concealed power of the jury, one begins to see how the word democracy regains its more significant and substantial meaning. The gravitas that word once contained is restored again. The people, demos, really are ruling, kratein. Those are the two Greek words that obviously make up the word democracy. Kratein is the verb, to rule. So just to pick up that sentence again, the people, demos, really are ruling, kratein, their country, and what was conventionally seen as the government is reduced rightfully to its proper status as an administration working for its people, whose employees are public servants. The most senior position within this administrative organisation is the head of state, in our case in Britain, the monarch. Okay, so that's just laying that out, that democracy is not about voting in elections, but it's about the concealed power of the jury. Democracy's meaning has gradually become distorted, and it is high time we regained our understanding of its roots in Hellenic Greece. The exousia rights of the citizens of Athens in the time of Cleisthenes provided many powers over the state, the most important being their right to be the final arbiter of law. See, that's the key. Yeah, that's what democracy is. It's when the people are the final arbiter of law. And through our modern understanding of democracy, that distorted modern understanding of democracy, that power doesn't exist, really. It's not there at all. You can't possibly claim that through adult suffrage the people are ruling. That isn't the case. So if you go back through the etymology of the word democracy, then you realise that its true meaning isn't about that. It's about the people ruling, and that includes over their own government as well. So that is of key importance. Carrying on from where we were, our erroneous understanding that democracy has a basis merely in majority voting, and especially a party political system, has simply led to our enslavement. It is perhaps worth pointing out that the roots of democracy could never have been our party political system, as that has only really emerged in the mid-18th century. It would be nonsense to claim something that emerged so recently as being the root to the ancient, profound and revered democratic governance that we so love to hold up as the basis of our free society. Yeah. So this party political system that we're so used to and we just think has been established, for for a very long time. Well, it hasn't been actually. It's only since the sort of early to mid 1700s, in fact, that party political system came into force. And of course, what's actually happened is that they've conflated two things together. Okay, because democracy actually does contain majority voting, but it's a pretty minor characteristic, because really what it's there for is to allow people to vote people into public office as a public servant. That's the purpose of it. Okay, but what they've done, of course, is they've conflated that with the Prime Minister's role. So by bringing a Prime Minister into office, what you're actually doing now in this modern system is bringing him into office, but along with a massive, great package of measures and policies which is not really meant to be the purpose. You don't bring policy into being through voting. That's not how it's supposed to operate. But of course, because they've bound them together in a sense, that's what's happened, and it's only really been there since the last 300 years or so. So it certainly was not intended that way. So that's it. That's the end of that section. Quite a short one, but it's really important, I think, that we actually do correct that whenever possible. Whenever people use the term democracy wrongly in the way that we're so used to nowadays, we should correct it. We should say, well, no, actually, that's not really the true meaning of democracy. It's not about voting in elections. It's actually about there being a natural law tribunal, like trial by jury, in place to allow the people to decide on the justice of laws within their country. They have the complete oversight and say so, complete authority over legislation. That's what it's supposed to be. And if you think about that, that's happening every day all over the country. Whenever a defendant is brought into court, the piece of legislation that brought him into court in the first place, remember, is also on trial at the same time. Okay, so that's truly putting the people into that position of power, of being the final arbiter of law. That, ladies and gentlemen, is what democracy really is. Okay, so we need to correct that whenever we possibly can, but I'm starting to rant now. Okay, and we'll move on to the next section. The next one's the 1215 Magna Carta is common law, so we're going to explain about that. Okay, so that's good. Cheers for now.